All right, so with that, welcome to the What's New for Content Authoring in Power BI. We are your host. I'm Sujatha Narayana,
Hi everyone, I'm Rian.
And I'm Lauren Faber.
and we are product managers on the Power BI team. And today we're going to take you through what's new, so basically what's shipped in the last 3 or 4 months, and what's coming soon, as well as some really cool things that are planned. And the way that we're thinking about this from a content authoring perspective is looking at the end-to-end workflow of report creation. So there's 3 buckets that we're targeting at here in this session. First is around onboarding data. So how do you get your data in? How do you prep the data? How do you model it? Then once you have your data modeled, how do you go and visualize that data, build beautiful visuals, design stunning reports? And then once you have your report ready, distributing that content to all of your colleagues so that you can show off, your coolness. And then last, we have a really cool roadmap that we want to show you that just summarizes everything we've discussed. So with that, let's start with onboard data. We're looking at 3 buckets here within this section. First is around content discovery. Obviously, you don't want to spend time building a report if that report already exists. So this is about finding high-value reports and high-value data within your organization, and doing so really easily. Next is if you don't have a report or it doesn't exist, this is about bringing that data in so you can start creating for your other colleagues. So bringing in the data and connecting to one of our hundreds of different connectors, transforming that data, prepping it, and getting it ready for the modeling stage, which brings us to our last bucket. This is around optimizing your data model so that it's really performant. So everyone wants a fast performant report, and this is such a critical step to achieving that. So let's look at what's shipped around discovering content within your organization. We're excited to announce that we GA'd just last fall the ability to discover Power BI reports directly within M365. This is really amazing because we know a lot of your end users are probably just in office.com anyways, so it's beautiful that they can be able to just find their Power BI reports directly with their PowerPoints, their Word docs, and whatnot, just like they can with any other Office file. And so they can find their content and directly navigate to the Power BI service and view those and interact with those content. Next, let's look at how we've updated our desktop experience to bring a personalized home to have users easily discover high-value reports and data. So here you can see, and it should look very Office-like because we did copy Office, and it shows you the ability to look at reports based on people in your organization, that whether they've edited that report, they've viewed it, they shared it, or even just reports you tend to frequent. And so this makes it really easy to find content that is relevant to you. One thing coming soon to this experience, so hopefully in the next couple months or so, we want to add the data connectors that are really popular and the ones that help you find high-value data, like the One Lake Data Hub, directly within this home experience. This really saves on clicks and makes it really easy to get started fast. So once you've discovered content or you realize that content does exist, you might realize, oh, I need to actually connect in and bring in my data. So this next section looks at how you can easily connect and prepare your data. We're excited to announce that just last week, we shipped the 2 new Excel connectors on the web. This is a huge milestone because it means that you don't have to use desktop if you don't want to. So for all those Mac users out there, you're welcome. So you can now get Excel files and CSVs that you can connect to directly from the web experience. And we know that those are the most popular connectors, so we're really excited about this milestone. And that's not all. We want to, take this even further because obviously, Excel is great, but that's not the only connector. There are hundreds, like maybe 500 plus. I don't know, Lauren, if you know the exact number. No. Okay, we don't know either. It's just constantly growing. But 500 plus connectors that you can connect to, and we want to bring that experience to the web. So this is, again, really great for your Mac users or anyone that, they're not going to use desktop and they just want to use web. Really great to find and the connector you want and bring your data in no matter where it's living. And this one was a little bit sneak peek from the demo before, but you may have seen that the Get Data experience looks a little bit different. So we've also revamped the UI to make it a lot easier to find the connectors of value. As we mentioned, there's a ton of connectors, but that can also make it tricky in terms of finding the connectors of value. So we've made really easy categorization of those connectors so that you can find what you're looking for and just get started faster. The next one is a big one and probably my personal favorite in this list because I know there's a lot of Power Query fanboys and fangirls here. Alex, I see you. And so we're bringing the Power Query experience, the new one, to desktop. And this unlocks a lot of new capabilities, such as the ability to use diagram view, which makes it so much easier to find different transformations and apply them to your different queries. So I personally am a huge fan of this one because I always have a ton of trouble trying to find, okay, where's that button? Like, I just need to do this. And so it's just so simple if I can just like type in the transformation I want and then just apply it right away. And now we are at our last section here. So let's look at how once you've brought the data in, once you've prepared it, you've cleaned it up, got rid of those duplicates. We know our data's messy, let's be real. And once you've done that, let's make sure we can model that data so we can actually get really performant reports. So this next part looks at how we're bringing version history to web modeling. So none of us here are perfect. We make mistakes. Your colleagues make mistakes. We all know which colleague does that, right? Let's be real. And so we want to make sure it's really easy to go and revert those mistakes. Like if you're collaborating with colleagues, you're collaborating with your coworkers, you need to be able to find out what exact version of the report do you need to go back to when mistakes happen. We all need a little bit of forgiveness, and this is great for that. So you can easily see what version you need to go back to. Your colleagues can even write out certain notes about that version if they're a little bit unsure about what changes they've made, and then they can restore that version. So this will be coming soon, and we're super, super excited for this one. Next, so this one, if y'all were in the keynote, you may have seen a sneak peek of this. We're going to take a closer look at this. So what this is looking at is we now support, actually, sorry, not now, too soon. Coming soon, we will support live editing of direct link models in desktop. And this is really amazing because I know many people here, they've been very familiar with modeling in web and in desktop, but they're like, how can we get kind of a merge of both, like a hybrid of both, where I can live edit a model where this is not just a local model, but I'm live editing it and it's auto-saving the changes directly from within desktop. And this is exactly what this is doing, but for direct link models. And so we're excited to announce that this is coming soon. And also, yes, I featured dark mode here, which is also coming soon.
So now that we have all our data, we're done. No, we got to use it. And what's a better way to use it than to build visuals out of it, to learn from our data, capture those insights in a way that we can actually share with other people and read clearly, and then actually do that sharing. So today we're going to talk about a few different sections. First, we're going to look at different ways that we've introduced to explore your data, to familiarize yourself with it, and to find insights about it everywhere your data already lives. Then we're going to talk about a few new features that we've introduced to help you build reports, to help you take the insights you learned from your data, capture them, and put them onto your report pages so you can share them with other people. Then lastly, we're going to talk a little bit about different ways that you can make your reports pop. Ways for you to format your visuals in a way that will help you fit your vision and fit your visuals to your organization's needs. We're going to start with exploring data. This is honestly, we're starting with a bang because this one's my favorite feature of this section. Data Explorer is this awesome new experience for analyzing your data that lives everywhere your data lives. As you can see, it allows you to explore the semantic model using the fields on the right without you actually needing to build a report. In the center, there's a matrix and a separate visual for you to really understand your data and to see it in a variety of different forms. It's really good for ad hoc analysis because it's very lightweight and shows up everywhere that your data lives. One of the newest features that we've introduced is filtering. So as you can see, you can, in just a couple clicks, add filters pick the fields that you want to filter your visuals by, and in just a couple clicks, filter it very easily. And it applies to both the matrix and the other visual that you see on the screen. You can edit it easily by clicking the filter itself, as you can see here, or if you want to delete it, you can just simply click the X button on the right and remove it. So it's really fast, really easy, and really smooth to really be able to slice and dice and explore your data in all the ways that you want. But maybe that's a little bit, maybe we're going a little bit too fast, right? You get an empty Explore page, you just got your semantic model, you're not 100% sure of everything that's captured inside it. Well, coming soon, we're introducing a new feature involving Copilot to help you really get a quick start your analysis of your data by having Copilot generate a data overview for you. So in just one click, Copilot will help take a look at your semantic model, understand what all of the data fields are saying, and then generate a summary to help you understand what you're looking at so you can get started exploring your data very quickly. And this is good because you're going to need to build reports out of that data. And we've introduced a bunch of new features here to help you capture those insights, and a bunch of new visual features to make sure that you can make your reports as interactive and as clear as necessary. So the first that we've introduced is a new button slicer. That first visual you saw in the top left corner of that screen, that was the old slicer, and that was the extent to which you could format it. It was just these rectangular tiles. You can't edit anything about them. But with the new visual, with the new button slicer, you can format the button slicer in any way you see fit. You can change the shape of each button. You can add rounded corners to your rectangles. You can add icons to those buttons, and you can even change the background in a way that allows you to, as you can see, filter in clear and concise ways. The other thing that you can do is format the selection state of those visuals. And so now, where before you see that I only have the ability to just change it to the tiles, with the new button slicer, I can say I want this to change the transparency when I hover over it. I can change the saturation of the colors. I can do so many different things with the new button slicer to really make my report pop. And on top of that, we're also introducing a bunch of new ways to visualize your geospatial data, and this is using Azure Maps. Now, Azure Maps represents our big, grand vision to unify all of our first-party map visuals under one single geospatial data visualization product. So before Azure Maps, our visuals, they could do a lot, but we had a variety of visuals, and so every time we ship new functionality, we only ship them for one visual or the other. Now, because we're unifying all of our functionality under Azure Maps, every improvement that we ship to our mapping visuals will come to you directly. And that includes new map layers, or new ways to introduce, or new ways to visualize your data with the existing map layers. For example, we introduced data clustering. Data clustering lets you take what might normally be cluttered map visuals, especially at low zoom levels, where you can see your entire map, and you can see a ton of data points, and they all overlap. Now, we'll cluster those data points together in a way that allows you to really clearly and easily read your data. Then you can click on each individual cluster bubble to zoom in and get deeper insights into all of your geospatial data needs. But that's not the only thing that we're introducing with Azure Maps. That's the only thing we have the demo for. But that's because the other stuff is a little bit more invisible. Data residency and compliance, because we know that you care about making sure that your data is safe and secure and that it's not being processed in regions outside of where you are. And Azure Maps is compliant with GDPR and a variety of other local data regulations to make sure that you can actually use Azure Maps and you're not violating any local residency regulations. And on top of all of that, we're also introducing new data formats for which to visualize your reference layers. So before we only supported like topo.json or geo.json. Now we support all of these formats. We support WKT, we support KML, we support shapefiles, and so on. And we're only adding to that list. So with all the different types of ways that you store your data, now you can just bring them directly into Azure Maps without needing to do any of that conversion or transformation that you otherwise would have had to do. So Azure Maps is our new map visual, and it's going to be, well, hopefully it's going to be the best visual on the market. So after we've taken our visuals, we've put them on the page, we've made our report interactive. Now we need to format our report and make those visuals look as good as they possibly can. And what better way to do that than with formatting? Now, with all of the different formatting options that we have in Power BI, it can get a little overwhelming to look through all those options in the formatting pane. That's why we introduced on-object formatting, to make sure that as you look at different elements of your visuals, you can format those visuals as you see fit. For example, you can select text and edit it right on the visual. And even for the deeper formatting options, like the newly introduced line smoothness option, all I have to do is click on the visual itself, click on the element, the line, and it'll take me to the part of the formatting pane that contains all of the relevant formatting sections for the line. It's a really good way to make sure that you can get access to and find all the visualization options and all the formatting options that you need to customize your report to your vision. And we've added even more formatting options for you to find. As you can see, we've introduced a bunch of new formatting options to the bar and column charts, including the ability to separate the different columns so that you can add a little bit of spacing between the column sections in a way that makes it clear where one section stops and the next begins. We've introduced ribbons between those different column sections so that you can make the transition between column 1 and column 2 very seamless. We've introduced reference labels for your data labels so that now, in addition to showing you the data that you put into the field, you can also add additional contextual information on top of that. And we've introduced a bunch of color and transparency options for your column sections just to make sure that they're stylish and good. But that's, again, not even it, because we've also introduced new card formatting options. So a lot of people like using the card visual to visualize their metrics, right, and to really capture exactly how well this thing is performing. But that's not the only important data, and that may not be the only relevant contextual information you need to understand the metric that you're presenting. With all of the new reference label features that we've introduced to the card visual, you can add additional fields to your cards in order to better contextualize the information that the viewer is looking at. So with all of these new formatting options, you can see we've improved the slicer in the top left. We've improved the map visual so that now it's clear and readable. We've improved the card visual, so now not only do we get sales, we also understand the additional metrics that contribute to sales. And in the column chart on the bottom left, we've added a bunch of new contextual information, as well as just prettying it up and making it look a lot better. So with a report page as pretty as this, I think we're ready to share it and hand it off to other people in our organization.
Yeah, give Rian some claps. So just like Rian showed, you now have this stunning, beautiful report. And it would be a shame if you weren't able to easily share that with your coworkers and colleagues so that they can take advantage of the data and the information contained in that report. So we've made some updates to make sharing and collaboration much easier with OneDrive and SharePoint, as well as ensuring that people in your organization are able to view their content and their reports from wherever they are, including from their mobile devices. So first, let's start off with talking about how we have simplified the sharing and collaboration. If you've been in Power BI Desktop in the last couple of months, I hope that you have noticed that we turned on by default the ability to easily share with your coworkers and colleagues, just like you can with other Office products, like you would in Word or Excel or PowerPoint. We've made it very simple for you to be able to send an email to invite someone to view the report or to grab a link that you can share with them on Teams so that they can go and see the report that you have shared with them. One of the benefits of this is that whoever you've shared the report with can get an email notifying them that they have access to this report. And with the click of a button, they can then view that report in OneDrive and SharePoint, where they can interact with the data, they can do drill downs to get more insights, and they can also share that report with others directly from their browser as well. We previously have already introduced the ability to view these reports with the caveat that the data needed to be in import mode. But coming very soon, we will also offer the ability to have reports be viewable in OneDrive and SharePoint with live connected models as well. So we're making it even more exciting so that you can have more ways to connect your data and make it as easy as ever for users in your organization to be able to view their reports in a way that is familiar to them already. And something else that we've done is, let's say you view this report in your browser and you decide that you want to make some edits to it. Rather than actually having to download the file and open it up in Power BI Desktop, we have also made the integration, just like other Office products, where you can open directly in-app with the click of a button so that you can get that report in Power BI Desktop very quickly and easily so that you can make the edits and the changes that you need and save those back to where the file is located in OneDrive and SharePoint, giving you that full circle Office experience that you have the same in other products. Now, I'm curious to see how many of you know about this. One of the huge benefits in my mind to using our ODSP features is that you have access to version history of your reports. So just like Sujata was showing earlier with the modeling, you can do the same thing with your Power BI files if you are using the OneDrive and SharePoint features. You can go to your OneDrive and SharePoint document libraries and view the version history to see things of past versions of your report, including who edited the file and when they edited it. And I know that we all are probably guilty of saving a bunch of different files on your computer called Sales Report V1, Sales Report V2, Sales Report V3, and you have no idea which report you need to get to, and you have to open them all up and try and figure out where to go from there. But with the ease of version history with OneDrive and SharePoint, it's a simple click of a button to restore to an old file and then pick up where you left off and continue editing and using your report there as well. So this is one of my favorite capabilities and a huge reason to be using our OneDrive and SharePoint features as well, and makes for really easy collaboration. Snaps for version history, we love it. Not only have we made sharing and collaborating easier, but if you attended the keynote this morning, you will have seen this amazing new feature that we have also made your mobile layouts so easy with the mobile auto layout functionality. So now with a click of a button, you can take your report and all the things that go into it and create a user-friendly, mobile optimized view. We know that previously this was all done manually and it was tedious and would take a lot of time. We've removed all of that so that now with this auto create mobile layout, you'll get this amazing overlay, and then you can tweak and change it to fit the needs of your organization so that you can more easily distribute this content to folks wherever they are, including from the palm of their hand on their mobile devices. And I also want to emphasize that that shipped, I think, today. So you can use that now, which is super, super exciting. Amazing. We also have planned to bring the mobile auto layout into Copilot. So if any of you have seen our Copilot demos or hopefully even played around with the feature in public preview, you know that you can easily and quickly create Power BI reports in a few seconds with the Copilot functionality. We're planning to bring the mobile auto layout with Copilot to the Copilot flow as well. So not only can you create a report within seconds, but you can also have the auto layout in that same flow from the same place that you are, making things as easy as ever to be able to distribute the content to your coworkers and those in your organization as you need.
Wow, so many features that we all just showed. Some shipped, some coming very, very soon, and some a very early sneak peek. Curious from the audience, just feel free to yell out, what was the favorite thing that you saw today? She was clearly not planted. What? Version history. I hear version history. What else? Woo! Power Query Editor. I think that's my favorite too. I don't think we showed Metric Hub, but you meant Copilot? Okay. But yeah, thank you all so much for joining this. Before we end here, first, everyone pull out your mobile phones, or if you have a tablet, if you're one of those people that takes pictures with your iPad.
And create an automobile layout.
And create an automobile layout. And take a picture of this, because this will be super handy for everything you just saw, because yes, we went through a lot.
Share it with your friends.
Share it with your friends. Feel free, post this on Twitter. But yeah, you can see like the team is very, very active at work. And every month we just continue to deliver more and more. We know it's really hard to keep up. That's why we have sessions like these. But yeah, thank you all so much for joining. I also want to call out that if you want to see any of the deep dive sessions, we have several related sessions. One in this very same room right after lunch. You can be able to look at more details around how we are improving productivity and a data-driven culture through M365. And Lauren and Mo, I think Mo's somewhere in the audience here. Maybe he left. JK. They will be leading that session. We also have the Copilot session, so the AI transformation session on Thursday.
I'll be in that one.
Yeah, he's in that one, so if you want to see him again, join that session. And then we have a data modeling for all session late afternoon on Thursday. And of course, join the community lounge meetups, meet with the product teams, super users, and whatnot. And with that, we do have extra time that if folks want to hang back, otherwise you can escape the escape room, hang back and ask us any questions. We'd be happy to meet you all. All right, thank you.